Hello and welcome everyone, it is me, TheLaval, also known as the Power Tool Duelist, back for you with the first video since I'm back home. And what a more fitting way to start this off than my updated Morphtronic profile for the March 2021 format. I'll be going over my extra deck, my main deck, and of course also my side deck, just as the last time. So starting off with the main deck, we are get these to the side and get into the main deck. Starting off, we are of course again with a playset of Morphtronic Cell Phone. This guy is what makes the deck really go around. Attack position effect, roll a 6-sided die, reveal that many cards from the top of your deck, and special summon a level 4 or lower Morphtronic monster, ignoring summoning conditions. Which is great. Enables extra board presence, your main machine dupe target, which is why you want to max out on this guy and see him as much as possible. Defense position effect lets you look at the top cards of your deck, but sadly doesn't let you stack them. But he is still great, especially in combination with 1-for-1. And then next up, his partner in crime, so to say, even though I think I already made that joke, a 3 of playset of Morphtronic Smartphone. Level 1 Tuner is special summonable by banishing a Morphtronic from your graveyard, which is great. Also, similar effect, while in attack position, roll a 6-sided die, reveal that many cards from the top of your deck, and you add a Morphtronic card from those to your hand. So it even enables you to grab a Morphtronic repair unit, which I'll be talking about later, which is a great extender, but also just gives you extra advantage, which is great. Defense position effect, unlike Cell Phone, he lets you stack your deck depending on your dice roll. So yeah, also enables Formula Synchron, which is great. Then I am starting to drop some cards. We play 3 Morphtronic Scopen. Scopen is a level 3 tuner that while in attack position lets you special summon a Morphtronic monster that is level 4 from your hand, but it gets destroyed during the end phase. Doesn't matter really, since you're going to use it for one of your level 7 Synchros, which is probably the main level I want to aim for because Power Tool Dragon is a great card. And while in defense, he is treated as a level 4, which is also a neat effect. Gives you some variety in your Synchro levels, so that is also neat. Then we're playing 3 Morphtronic Remoten. Basically your second machine dupe target after Cell Phone. While in attack position, this lets you banish a Morphtronic monster from your graveyard and add a Morphtronic monster with the same level from your deck to hand. And while in defense, you can discard a Morphtronic and add a Morphtronic with the same level from your graveyard to your hand. Great, especially if you machine dupe this and can go into Leviair, since the banished monsters are summonable. Then going into our non-tuners again, we have 3 Morphtronic Staplen. Staplen's kind of cool since when you set him in defense, he can't get run over since he will flip, swap something to a defense, and just turn himself into attack. While in attack, only Staplen can be attacked, and when he gets destroyed by battle, the monster that destroyed him loses 300 attack. He's still really neat, and I run him because I want to keep my Earth count high for Naturia Beast. Yeah, so there is that. And then talking about Earth main deck Morphtronics, we cannot go without a playset of Morphtronic Boomboxen, I think. While in attack, this guy can attack twice, which really helps with OTKing a lot. Especially lately, I found myself kind of swapping to him as an OTK enabler, since him with United, it just OTKs in a good amount of cases. And while in defense, he can negate once per turn an attack on a Morphtronic monster, which is also neat. Yeah, and then a 2 of Morphtronic Radion. While in attack, all Morphtronic monsters you control gain 800 attack, and while in defense, all Morphtronic monsters gain 1000 defense. So basically, this is a 1900 wall if you set it, if you have to. But in general, the boost is really nice, and now that I've been playing it for a few months, the part that it's not a machine doesn't really hurt it, so I still think it's worth running. Then we have the 1 Morphtronic Vacuuman. I just like this card. The defensive position effect of this guy basically being able to steal an attack position monster your opponent controls and equipping him with it is kind of neat, gives you some really unique spot removal. Yeah, so he's a fun card to have. Then talking about one of spells, we have 1-for-1 discard a card, summon a level 1, gets you Cell Phone, gets your play started. And if you already got to Cell Phone, this can also grab you a Vacuuman. Foolish Burial sets up your graveyard. You do have a lot of graveyard-related effects, and you do have a lot of extenders that want to summon from the grave. So you can definitely make great use of that. One Monster Reborn. Just an extender, I guess. And a Harpy's Feather Duster. Yeah, I just chose to include this in the main deck since I've been playing against a lot of more back row heavy decks lately, and even in the meta with Eldritch still being a really prevalent deck that dodged the last ban list. I feel like Harpy's Feather Duster maining is not too alien or too out of this world, to say it in a different way. Then we play 3 Machine Duplication. You just want to see this with one of your machine dupe targets. You can also include more machine dupe targets if you want. Lantron is a cool card. Borden is also an option, but I feel like Remoten and Cell Phone are definitely your best bets if you want to just get more advantage out of them. So yeah, just machine dupe. And then getting to another set of extenders, we play 3 Junk Box. Target a Morphtronic monster that is level 4 or lower in your grave and special summon it, but it gets destroyed during the end phase. But guess what? We don't care about that because we're going to use it for a synchro summon or just any other extra deck summoning there is. So this is basically just a archetypal monster reborn. Great card, and fun part is it also tells you which Morphtronic to summon. So yeah, there is that. Going into the equip spell package, I am still on 3 United We Stand, because this card OTKs harder than I would like to admit sometimes, because a 7k Power Tool Dragon is something I only dreamt about as a child, but now it's a reality. So here it is. Then we play 3 of the archetypal equip spell, 3 double tool C and D. Equips only to Power Tool Dragon or a level 4 Morphtronic that is a machine, and during your turn that monster gains 1000 attack, and when it attacks, the opponent's monster can't activate on-field effects until the end of the damage step, of course. And during your opponent's turn, the equipped monster is the only attack target your opponent can select, and a monster that battled the equipped monster is destroyed at the end of the damage step. Gives you some neat interactions with Power Tools protection effect, and has some good matchups, especially Shadows really don't like this card. FAs, I found like just recent examples out of the pure format matches I played. So yeah, still a great card. I love it. And then capping off the main deck are 3 Morphtronic repair units. Discard a Morphtronic, summon a Morphtronic from grave, and equip this card to it. Can change the battle position, but that doesn't really matter since you are going to retrieve a Cell Phone, a Scopen, a Remoten, something that furthers your plays. So it's just another extender, and the best part about this, it is searchable by Power Tool Dragon, which is a great card. And talking about Power Tool Dragon, as we are getting into the extra deck now, yeah, we run 3. Yeah, once per turn, reveal 3 equips. Your opponent adds 1 randomly to your hand, and he can rid himself of one of his equip spells to protect himself from being destroyed. This is still by far my favorite card in the game. I just love this guy. And yeah, I run 3. You can probably run 2, but 3 is the way for me. Then we do run 1 Livestream Dragon. Just Power Tools upgraded form is a neat way if you're getting into some burn heavy matchups. Still has a neat protection effect, in which he just banishes equip spells from the grave instead of getting rid of them from field, which kind of builds onto Power Tool Dragon. And also the effect that you can make your life points become 4000 when you summon them is kind of neat if you're a bit down for the count. Then I run 1 Infernoble Knight Emperor Charles. I wanted an option that I can make with Formula Synchron and a level 7, and Charles just felt really appropriate. He's a 3k body, which is neat, and also he has some neat interactions with equip spells, so I run him. Then I play 1 Cybers Quantum Dragon. Recently I've fallen in love with this card even more. Generic level 7, While you control the link, only this card can be targeted for card effects and attacks. And when he attacks a monster or he battles a monster, you can return that monster to your opponent's hand at the start of the damage step, and he can attack again in a row. Which is really cool, to be honest. And previously I was running Borrello Dragon in his place, but I just felt like he did a similar job, but way more accessible, as he is a level 7 Synchro. So he is a great card, to be honest, and I love him. Then we have the FA Drone Dragster, just another level 7 Synchro, but this time we get offered a spell or trap negate, which is kind of neat, especially when you're forced to go first or you just want that extra security against some back row. Then I play one Stardust Charge Warrior. Sometimes he's just a way of climbing up in a Synchro ladder, as I would dub it, in a way, because he draws you a card on Synchro Summon, which is kind of neat, but also he can attack every special summon monster your opponent controls. So with a United We Stand, he can in some cases definitely help you OTKing your opponent, so he is a really cool card. And then I've talked about this when I went over my Earth Morphtronics Naturia Beast. Essentially locking your opponent out of spells is a damn good effect, if I say so myself. Going first, this is probably one of your best plays with the list here. And even going second, maybe locking a deck like Sky Striker or anything else that's really spell reliant out of their spells is really good. So I still feel like running it is worth. Then going into my level 4 lineup, I still play the one old entity Hester. I was debating if I should cut him for a Naturia Barkion, as I feel like that card is also great in this deck, and the meta is still rather trap heavy, but I just like Hester's unique effect that when he leaves the field, he equips to an opponent's monster, and when he is then removed as an equipped card, you can take control of that equipped monster he was equipped to. Which is really unique. I just like this guy for the 2300 buddy if I need another buddy to attack. Then I play the one Armory Arm, another level 4 Synchro option. This one more equip OTK focused, so yeah. Make this, equip it to one of your monster, the monster gains 1000, and if it destroys something in battle, it basically flame wingmans your opponent. So yeah, also cool. Then next up, a Formula Synchron, as talked about. You easily make this with cell phone and smartphone. It's another draw in your combos, which can get you another extender, another just Morphtronic or a discard for your repair units, which is nice. And as mentioned, sometimes you use this to go into charge. Sometimes you just make Stardust Charge with this and a level 4, and then, I don't know, go into Power Tool or something with a smartphone, but it's still neat to have. And then I talked about this card when I mentioned Remoten. Levia the Sea Dragon, still a great inclusion in this deck. Detach a material to summon a banished monster. Works really well with Remoten's effect. Turning 2 Remotens in a Platinum Gadget, searching a Scopen. Platinum Gadget, summoning Scopen, maybe summoning a level 4 if you have it. Going into Levia with Scopen and Remoten, summoning back a Remoten, searching another Scopen. Is a really cool play, and I think Levia is definitely something you should include if you are running Remoten. Going into my very slim link lineup here, we have one Platinum Gadget, just a neat extender, I guess. You make this with 2 machines, and once per turn you can summon a level 4 lore machine to a zone he points to, which is kind of great. Yeah. Don't run a gadget for his floating effect, but maybe you can include that per choice. And then capping off the main deck is probably one of the best Link monsters, let's face it. Linkuribo. Use one of your level 1s. You do run quite a lot with cell phone and smartphone, and you want to recur them as much as possible. And if you have one left at the end of your combo, why not turn it into a Linkuribo instead of letting it get destroyed in the end phase by Junkbox's effect or something. So yeah, just negating an attack essentially because you turn one of your opponent's monsters to 0. Kinda neat, so yeah. And then I'll quickly run over my side deck essentially so we can get it also out of the way. I side 2 Morphtronic Vacuumman kind of as a third machine dupe target, and also for extra spot removal. Yeah, I just like the card. I just like the effect. Vacuumman go whoosh, I guess. The one called by the grave for hand trap heavy matchups. I still don't have any in particular, but it's still a great card that helps this deck just be a little less fragile in the current state of the game. Also, 3 Dark Ruler or more against combo, build a board decks, turning off all the effect negates so you can go in for an OTK. If you can manage that, or just dismantle their board in the hopes of them not having a play on turn 3. Yeah, next up, another obvious pick, 3 Twin Twister. You really don't care about the discard because you have so much great graveyard interaction, and this just takes out so many back row heavy decks. So yeah, it's a good inclusion. And then something the people who watched my Pure Format deck profile or the Pure Format tournament video probably already know about. I am citing 3 Torrential Tribute. I saw this card getting cited, and since it's a very nostalgic card, I thought, yeah, why not? Because it's a good going first option, quick play, board wipes are kind of fun. I do love me my Machina Citadel. So why not run essentially the trap equivalent? As a really good, well-timed Torrential Tribute can still stop a lot of decks. So yeah, cool card, especially when you are forced to go first. And then another going first option, I play a new card. 3 Angel Statue Asia Rune. This was released, I think, at the beginning of last month in Blazing Vortex. It is a trap monster that summons itself as a fairy, light level 4 with 1800 attack and defense. But once per turn, when your opponent would special summon a monster or monsters, while this card is in your monster zone, you can send to the graveyard 1 continuous trap in your monster zone to negate that summon. And if you do negate the summon, destroy that monster. And also, when this card in the main monster zone is destroyed by a battle, you can destroy the monster that destroyed this card. Cool card. I feel like in concept, this is probably one of the most unique and best trap monsters we have gotten, period. Really like it, and I am definitely looking forward to include this in more decks, as I feel like it's a really cool card. So yeah, I wanted to cite it just for the extra negate. And yeah, this has been it for my March 2021 update for my Morphtronic deck list. Quickly lining up everything here for the outro. Just as always, thank you very much for watching this video. Definitely let me know what you think of this configuration as it currently stands down below. I'll always be glad to talk about Morphtronics with you guys. And yeah, this has been it for me. Thank you guys very much for watching again, and I will see you guys again next time. But until then, goodbye.